Hey, good evening traders. Today we're going to look at uranium by virtue of looking at the GlobalX Uranium ETF because this is just wild. This move has been absolutely crazy for an ETF, especially uranium. Now, don't get me wrong, uranium can move, but it typically doesn't move like this. So I want to show you kind of what we're looking at. So back on April 7th, which was about 2 months ago, this thing had a low of about 1955. Now, since then, it launched. It literally just launched into space. And I'm seeing a bunch of things on here that I kind of want to show you, and I want to show you why I'm shorting this and why I think this is a fantastic play. It's super overextended, and I'll show you the levels that I think we're going to come into, and I think we're going to make a lot of money on this one. So let me first give you this trend line here, and we'll look at this trend line. So this is the first trend line we went through. So we had this resistance that we had broken down below, came up, then came back down, and then from here just went right through it. And you can see, struggled with it a little bit here, and then gapped up, retested it, and then we were off. Now the next one's super interesting, right? This is the 200 SMA, went right over that, retested the 200 SMA, closed here, and then this is what you call a river theory. So it gapped up above the other resistance line. Now that would have been massive support, and that's why they do this, right? They river, right? You're jumping the river and going and opening here, and then obviously closing here, coming back, not even retesting this. This is how strong this trend has been. It didn't even retest the river resistance horizontal or diagonal line. So that's wild. But anyways, here we are now, right? So let me reapply this one. This was previous all-time high, and then it went through it, came back down, came back up, and then you had this massive fall off. But you know, here we went up to it, kissed it, consolidated, pulled back, created this little bullish consolidation, and then same kind of thing, gapped up above it, river theory here as well, came back though in this case, and you can see it tested it, right? So right here, the river theory, boom, gapped up above it, came back down, tested it, and here we are. The interesting thing to note is look at the biggest volume we had was right here, and then they gapped it up, which is curious in and of itself, but I digress. But here's where we're at, right? We're losing buy volume, right? We have bearish divergence on the RSI, so lower lows on the RSI, higher highs obviously on the price, right? I don't need to draw this, but I will from that same point. So here we go, right? Higher highs there. So I'm gonna take that off. So you have that. You have the pseudo topping tail. It's not the biggest candle of, you want a topping tail truly to be like the biggest candle. So if you have a candle, you know, this size, you want it to be about that size. And even the day before it was not that size. So yeah, so still could go higher without question. Maybe we get one final exhaustive move, puts in a real big topping tail. But I'm not going to wait for that. So I actually shorted it today. I'm going to continue to short it as it gets higher. Let's see if it can go. Let's look for another potential level. Let's see what we're seeing here. So maybe something like this. Wow, look at that. So we went right into this level today. That would have been kind of the next. I didn't even see that until right now. So we've already kind of gone into that level. I guess another one potentially could be this level. That would take us way, way high. So, and plus it's not really a pivot top high, it's on a diagonal, so I don't really like that one too much. What else could we do here to kind of identify that? Let's see, we could, I'm trying to just see if I see anything else. We're already through this one, so it's definitely not that. You know, that could potentially be a support though as we come back through, but I think this is so extended that I think we're going to come back through it. So price targets, right? Assuming, I think we're very, very close to a move downward from here, right? We have this price action in here today. We have the bearish divergence. We have the completely overstretched and overdone move to 37 almost from, again, 19. Crazy, right? It's a double. So, oh, I wanted to show you one more thing. So check this out. So another thing we could look at, let me just clean some of this up while we're on it. Another thing we could look at, now this is crazy, doesn't make a whole lot of sense as a descending broadening wedge, but I did see this. So I want to look at, actually maybe it was this, yeah. So check this out. So if you drop it from this high through those, and you take those lows here, right? You take, it's through this pit wick, it connects to that one, and then that's where we finally stopped, right? So we have that. Now this is going to be a this is going to be a stretch for a descending wedge. You know, if it's drawn from here, you know, or you know, potentially here. Now that really wouldn't. I mean, potentially it could work. In any event, what I wanted to show you is this. So check this out. Again, this is wonky. This is definitely not a descending wedge. But even if you wanted to call it a descending broadening wedge, right, because of you have this and this, again, super wonky because of all this price action. But the reason I'm showing you this is if we took the measured move and just say, let's pretend this was a descending broadening wedge. You took this measured move from the breakout point, right, which is right here. That puts us just past this high, right? Puts us really right about that high. And look, we've already gone way past it. So even if you wanted to call that a descending broadening wedge and take the measured move from it, because that's crazy, you'd have this as your high. So more reasons why, again, I think this is very overdone. And at a minimum, we're coming back to test this. So that's, you know, 3360. So let's just draw, let's just put a risk profile on here real quick. And let's go short position. Let's say you get a retrace and you put it on from here. Say you wanted to put your stop, you know, reasonably, you know, let's go. I mean, give yourself some room, maybe 37.5 from there. You'd have a risk reward profile just going to there of 3.5R. So 3.5 to 1, which I think is a solid risk profile on something like this. You could even put your stop tighter, you know, if you wanted to, above that high and get a really good, get a 10R, right? So a lot of different ways to play this. I'd give myself a little room because, like I said, it could overshoot. But based on what I'm seeing, this thing's going lower. So obviously, that's take profit level number one. But ultimately, I think this is going back to, you know, you got your gap window here. You got your gap fill here, and you got your 200 SMA. So in terms of price targets for me, it's definitely this first level here, boom, at 33.60. So that's a 10%, you know, gainer right there for you on very, very limited risk. If you hold to take profit number 2, that's a 20% gainer at 30. And if you wanted to be really aggressive, you hold for take profit 3, you're at, you know, roughly probably a 13-14%. Actually, it's more than that. Am I doing that right? Let's look at this. 1 second. Price range. Okay. All right. So you get in here. Yeah, about 20% there. 18% here. And about 10% there. So I was a little off. So, like I said, really good opportunity here. Very limited risk. I love this setup. I love overextended charts like this. And yeah, so that's kind of what I'm doing. So hopefully you guys found value in this analysis. I'm trying to bring these to you, like I said, every day, a couple a day. Usually on the evenings. Definitely going to be on the weekends. As I see opportunities in the market and I spot them, I am going to bring them to you so we can all make a lot of money along the way. If you love the content and you like what I'm doing here and you want to promote the channel and help grow it, that's all I ask. Hit that like button and then subscribe and follow and tick that little bell and you'll get live alerts as I post them. So again, thank you for your time. Thanks for watching and I'll see you guys on the next one. Cheers.